Well, I'm where mine. I'm
We
following
are
my
live. Hi
life.
guys, FTTVBoxing Fighters Talk TV. We are live streaming to the world, and we hope that you're going to enjoy it. I just don't know, so we'll just look to sort of wait and see, really. Anyway, guys, so this is no F's given. How me and my good pal Max? How you doing?
Yes, I'm all good.
Excellent, excellent. We've got lots to do and lots to talk about today. Going on from the Errol Spence and Mr. Crawford fight, Terence
Yeah,
Crawford. What do you think? You've seen the fight. What do you think?
yeah. I'll tell you what. Um, I'll give the first round to Spence because I think they're just sort of testing each other out in the centre of the ring, and then it just went downhill from that for Spence. I thought
Just
Crawford
it,
was
he was
far
just taken
superior.
to school, absolutely taken to school.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
and I think that he showed there that there was a lot. Excuse me. There's a lot more that needed to be done. Do you know what I mean in the gym?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I'll just gonna go over what Wilder said after the fight in a video he posted. He was saying about Spence looked weak and dehydrated. That's the right way to say it.
Mm.
The rehydration clause come into
That's one.
then.
You know what? I absolutely hate that about boxing. Right? You weigh what you weigh. Now I was a heavyweight, so it didn't really matter to me. I didn't have to worry about cutting weight and all that sort of stuff. But I
Yeah,
think when it comes to some of the lighter fighters, that it's to obviously get the advantage. It's all what it's about. I understand that.
yeah, because
But
this was fought at 147, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah. So I think that the fact that
Nationals is going to go up to 154, I believe.
well, yeah, yeah. So was the conditions on the weight and rehydration clause, was that a big factor in it?
Yeah, because I was all through the rounds now. I was looking at Spence, and he looked tired, weak, bit lethargic, and that. Where Crawford looked up for it, game on the ball, more energetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I was looking at it when I was watching the fight.
Well, absolutely. I think when you look at the fighting that went on, when you look at the boxing, I just think that Terence Crawford was levels above, wasn't he? I mean, it didn't look like he didn't get out the first round. It looked really shoddy.
Yeah,
Um,
I think because I think he held the advantage because he's most of his fights. I think I was reading over 70% of Crawford's fights were against Southpaw, where Spence has only had two ever fights off Southpaw. So I don't know if he was struggling that way,
mm.
but Crawford just schooled him and just showed him who's boss basically.
Well, it's always nice to be shown who's boss, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
but
so I mean,
the power in his jabs, Crawford. Wow, those hard and fast, snapping back, and he was just doing damage with them.
it's kind of spiteful, isn't it? It was kind of spiteful to watch.
Yeah.
Not that it was anything wrong with that at all, but I just think that.
You know what's interesting about that though?
Go on.
He wasn't a southpaw when he first started fighting. He broke his hand, and then had to switch, and then that become left hand. He started becoming his stronger arm in the end. That's why it's southpaw now.
Well, I think they can actually do that. There's a lot of fighters that do that. Orthodox fighters can fight with both. So,
Yeah,
there are them out there. And I guess if the old Rocky Balboa thing, tie up the good hand and then punch it with your bad hand until it gets good. I think is probably how it goes. But I mean, the right person won.
oh yeah, about
Unfortunately for you, you got it wrong. So if you go back and look, once
that.
again, I'll,
Yeah.
I'll go for the bud man.
I'm fair.
So well done to Terence Crawford on his fight. So let's move on to a couple of bits of other news that's in there. Now this is going to be a bit of a controversial bit of news. We know the man involved himself, but Conor Benn has been given back or the right now to fight in the UK by UCAD, who are now withdrawing that. However, it was VADA who found the test sample. Now there's going to be some real big, I think, shocking news here because I think this is going to cause all end of grief.
Yeah, I think if there is corruption or contaminations of testings, not just with Connors, with throughout the whole boxing world, then I think the two main testers should be jogged on and have a new body there to do the testings. You know, I think always got to, or why they're doing it, it's got to change because it's not fair on the fighter who's having a test to the fighter who's not having a test. You know what I mean? If someone is on PEDs or whatever, it's not fair either way, whether you're being tested or you're up against someone who is on it.
Well, I know we've got a load of viewers online like now. Guys, if you have any questions, do throw them to us, and me and Max will do our best job to answer them. Now, let me tell you where I find the problem. VADA should have picked up the same test results as UKAD. UKAD didn't. Now, the British Boxing Board of Control only recognises UKAD, UK Anti-Doping, as the licensed body. Now, us insider boxing know that, you know, or not know, but certainly have a good idea about what goes on during these testings and everything else. However, those outside of boxing are always quick to judge as to say, well, that's it, guilty by association, guilty just charged, and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
what we're talking as we've seen. And I think what people have to realise is it's not just, you just think about, oh no, he's a drugs cheat. No, it's not just about drugs for performance enhancing. They use masking agents as well to cover over, and there's an ever-growing list of masking agents and drugs and all the rest of it. And when somebody's caught deliberately doping, there's two ways this happens. One, the Gerald Miller case. So he was deliberately taking performance-enhancing drugs. There was no two ways about it. Tony Bellew said people like him should be banned for life. So someone's going to get killed in there. Okay, It's the only platform, guys and girls, where you can actually legally kill someone else. Inside that ring. And of course the octagon. It's the only place in the world you can legally do it. Right? So if you think about it, you know, that's basically they're just taking an illegal substance to get a massive advantage. And it's totally, totally wrong. So you've got the Gerald Miller version of it, which is a deliberate act. Deliberate. And then you've got other people who are accidentally consuming goods. Now, we will put Conor Benn into that situation. It was in his system. As an athlete, you have to take responsibility for everything inside your system, right? That's it. So whether it be, I think we were talking about chicken and eggs and all this sort of stuff and pumping them full of drugs, and it's got into the human growth system, that's fine. We're not talking about, you know, if we're talking about this phone as being the content of taking an entire shot as one, in the Conor Benn situation, we're talking about something being only 2% like that, right? So very, very small amounts. Regardless as to whether it's a small amount, it is still in the system, right? Yeah. And there's going to be some controversy because UKAD should have either picked it up, or, but in fact, both doping agencies should have picked it up. The fact that they haven't raises some serious questions. Whose is wrong? That's the first thing. UKAD say, well, we didn't find anything. VADA say, well, we found it on an A and B test. So what they do is they when they take a sample, they take two, they split it into two, seal one away, sample the first one. If there's an adverse finding in the first one, they do it in the second one. So the fact is that I'm pretty sure UKAD do it the same way, and they found nothing in all the samples. And this is where the problem comes in. You've got two anti-doping associations butting heads. Who is right? You've got that's right. Well, UKAD in this particular instance. Then the British Boxing Board of Control said, hang on a minute. They've done what they think is right for the sport. They stopped the Eubank Ben fight. And that, I believe, was right. And I'll tell you why I believe that was right. You've got to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. We know Conor. We've sat with him. We've spoke to him. We're not going to repeat the conversations we've had with him. You know, we agreed to keep it private. And we know who Conor is. We've met him. He does not come across to me as a drugs cheat. Not in a million years. Now, what I believe is, did he know it was in there? No. Did he take drugs? No. Was it there? Yes. Right? I believe that. But now, we've got a problem. If UKAD didn't find it and VADA did, whose test is failing? That's the question you've got to ask. That's the question the boxing world has got to ask. Remember, VADA is something you sign up and pay for as a voluntary anti-doping association. UKAD is mandatory in the United Kingdom. So, who's right?
It's an hard one, but like I was saying earlier, who's got the authority over what, right? and could it possibly be contaminated before it reached from before that time it's gone from the tube to the machine, or however they do the testings? I'm not sure how they do it, but somehow could it been on the needle had something on it, or the pipette they use, to get it out? Could that have, had something in it? Was it a dirty substance they've used? What I'm getting at.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what people haven't taken into consideration in all of this, right? They haven't taken the athlete. Okay, so they haven't cared about what Conor Benn's going through. No one's cared. No one's shown the man compassion to say, look, you've got it in your system somehow, and and we'll have to deal with it. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody, and then said, listen, let's help you get through this bit. Let's find out where it came from. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do something else. No one's given a shit about Conor. No one's gone over to him and patted him on the back and said, listen, I got your back. Obviously, Nigel has, and his friends have. And that's right. But he's been hung, drawn, and quartered, by media before anything's really been investigated. Nobody really knows the situation. If you look at I can't remember who it was Dillian White fought. I don't know if it was Povetkin, where he fought Povetkin. In fact, they had an adverse finding in his and still allowed the fight to go ahead. Right? And I think that was the first fight, I believe. Don't crucify me out there in boxing world if I got that slightly wrong. But he did have an adverse finding, and I remember going through all that with him, going, okay, let's work out what's gone on, let's see where everything is, let's find out what really is going to happen, to be able to give a proper verdict. And I just think that the media haven't given him a break. The media haven't given Conor any benefit of the doubt. They just executed him on the spot.
Listen, like he was saying in his interview, for the last 10 months, he's been hammered with abuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know how he's gone through that 10 months without going off his rocker, basically, because everywhere you turn, it's a drug street, drug street, drug street. You know what I mean? You think, well, wait a minute, nothing's been made, he hasn't been convicted of anything yet, should I say, and the fingers are pointing straight away, which I think is wrong. You should be have your testings, go through all the court rulings, and if it's a guilty, then you can have the finger pointed at you. But if it's not guilty, nothing should be said.
Well, and this is the problem, right? You have you've in the rest of the law, it's you're innocent till proven guilty, except when it comes to sport, right? You're guilty. That's it. Until you got to fight, and people will still doubt him right the way through his career.
Yeah.
Right the way. I sat there and said to Conor, when he said, what would I do? When we were at that, obviously we were at the gym and we were with Conor. He said, what would I do? And I said, listen, my integrity is more than my life is worth. I would never admit something I haven't done. And I'm glad he didn't. Because he hasn't. And I believe him. Was it in his system? Yes, but I don't believe he deliberately took it. I believe it was there, and I believe it's a failure on UCAD, not a failure on Conor. I believe it's a failure on UCAD.
What sportsman in their right mind would deliberately take a drug and then pay to have a drugs test? Doesn't make sense.
Listen, there's nothing common about sense. I mean, it's just one of those things,
Yeah.
It is one of those things. We've got lots going on in the world. A lot less to worry about than most, if you know. And I just think you're never gonna know. We're never gonna find out. We're never gonna know. But I mean, I'm just glad to see the guy fight back. We called him Mini Tyson, but I am glad that he's that vicious. I'm glad to see him back. I'm really looking forward to meeting with him again, talking with him. We had his back. We were like others, but wow, is this really true? But we had his back, and I just sit there and think, Conor, you're a great asset to the sport. I'm glad that you're back. People are going on about technicality, this technicality, not interested. Until both of those organisations, anti-doping organisations, found the same result, then I'd be convinced. But as they didn't, that's something they need to squabble and fight out between the two of them. Because listen, it either happened or it didn't.
Yeah.
Right. Did he have maybe something in his system? Maybe. And do you know what I say about that is people out in normal fan land have absolutely no idea what what they go through as professional athletes.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you did, Max, when you had a headache the other day?
Took a drug or paracetamol.
That's it. Straight into the drawer, paracetamol, headache pills, bang, straight in, because you're taught from a young age, right from a baby, that the way you get rid of problems is pills, medication, right? But what people don't realise, I'm going to give you an example, yeah? Now, I take these to try and help me lose weight, and obviously you can see they don't work, right? Some B12 supplements, yeah? Now you go and look at the ingredients list on that. I mean, it is totally off the chart. Look at it. Ingredients, look at all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you as an athlete, well, thankfully, not me anymore. I also take these, by the way. So the Gundry MD, I actually import all these, by the way. So it's BioComplete for excellent gut health, supposed to sort of stop you from having too much trouble. And once again, you know, we're looking at a phone number directory of all the crap that goes in it. And these athletes, you don't know what someone's even putting into the meat that you eat, right? Yeah. So the antibodies, antibacterials and stuff like that. So it's very, very difficult for them. They don't really understand what's going on and where it's coming to, etc., etc. But one thing I would say is, instead of jumping on the bandwagon with all the other media agencies and convicting them by media, wait. You know, you've got to imagine this has cost Conor Benn over what, 400,000? When he was telling us around 400 grand, nearly £500,000 to clear his name.
Yeah.
And the chances of getting that back, gone.
Listen, that's just to clear his name. What about the revenue he's lost in these fights? It goes into the millions.
Yeah, it's massive amounts of money to risk.
Yeah.
Massive amounts of money. And you've got to understand these athletes, they're still human beings.
Yeah. It's like I put up the other day when all these little keyboard warriors so quick to accuse him, but not one of you say it to his face.
And not one of them said sorry.
Nah.
Not one. So we wait to see what happens. UCAD, I think, had 21 days, didn't they, to respond?
It surprised me. Richard back senior when you went, I believe him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like an enemy of the family stood up and went, I believe Conor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot of people that need to, you know, there's a lot of Humble Pie equals doing it. A couple of other journalists as well. I mean, I know Conor's quite angry with a few of them, isn't he? But I do think that, you know, there is more to the world, and I think, you know, good on Conor. Lovely to have him back. I do agree with Gareth Davies in that Conor shouldn't have fought until he cleared his name, unless there was no hope of clearing his name, and he's cleared his name now, and I'm really pleased. I'm excited to see him come back. And Wild Bill, do not forget. Just a little private joke there. What do you reckon, Max?
Yeah. Come on, get in there. We want this.
Yeah, when you get back from holiday. Anyway, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk the fight announcement between KSI and Tommy Fury. Now, guys, me and Max have completely different opinions on this, right? Completely different. So instead of me go yabbering off like I normally do, tell me. But if you want to join in the conversation, drop some messages below on the podcast, and it'll be fantastic.
Right, the way to start.
Yeah, you can start.
Right, the KSI Tommy Fury. My money is on KSI. For this reason, right? KSI is not like Jake Paul, as Tommy says. He's going to wipe the floor with him. KSI is a lively chap. You know what I mean? He can swing some bombs, and I don't think Tommy's prepared for this.
Yeah, but he also swings some elbows.
Oh yeah. Like he said in his video, if you can get away with a cheeky elbow, you can.
Yeah. Oh dear. Could cause an absolute nightmare. Right, okay, so, and I believe Tommy Fury stops KSI. I actually believe the nerves get to him. Hear me out. There's a lot of family pressures when you're Tommy Fury. You've got your dad and your brother saying, if you lose, don't bother coming home, right? You can stay wherever you are.
I think he won against Jake because he's a Fury.
Yeah.
Not because he outboxed Jake at all, because he didn't.
I think he did. I beat him. He beat him.
He only won because he's a Fury.
Oh, listen, Tyson, Tommy, punch Max when you see him at the next presser. Not me. I help Max up.
So I bring it on. I can take it.
Yeah, he needs 2 weeks in A&E. He's holiday. Anyway, so, but I think Fury stops him. I really think he does. I think this time Tommy's got in his head. I don't think Tommy is a future world champion. I will be perfectly honest. Okay, I don't think he is. I think he's done incredibly well for his family. I think there's a lot, unless something happens, never say never, but I just don't see it, And I'm wondering if I'm a bit biased towards him because you're looking at Tyson, and you're comparing Tyson and Tommy. It's like comparing chalk and cheese. It's a cruiserweight to a heavyweight. Do you know what I mean?
There's no comparison, right? Tyson Fury, right? As much as he pains me sometimes, he can fight. He's proved he can fight. He can take a dig. He's won a load of belts. He's lost them. Right, he's gone through so much in life.
I want to stop you there. He hasn't lost any belts. It's been taken from him. Difference, right? He's never lost any belt.
Alright, but still.
Both hands, Tyson, right? Both hands.
Yeah. He's just a different kettle. Tommy ain't the same breed or league as bloody Tyson Fury. No way. Jake Paul's more likely to be a champion than Tommy.
Oh, I don't know. I don't rate Jake Paul either. I'll tell you what I will say about Jake Paul though, the energy, the training, the bit I don't like is I don't like wind-up merchants. I don't. I really hate it. I don't think you need to be that way, like him, like doing like vignettes on him sitting there with a big fake podgy belly, or him smoking as he's like using the speed bag, or he's. Do you know what I mean? I hate.
That's Jake Paul. Come on, that's how he is. No, mate, look at Tyson Fury. I'll go out and drink 20 pints, next day and do 30 rounds. I'm knocking one out. That's just the same.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, but I don't like it from Fury either. So I was always taught, Marjay, listen, chat shit, get banged, right? That's what I was taught. And everybody has their day apart from a few. Mayweather, Calzaghe, a few undefeated fighters. But everybody gets that one. Even the great Prince Nassim Hamid. And I mean, this man was absolutely fantastic. We'll come on to his sim and his son yesterday. Had his day. And I think that, we've got a very busy schedule coming up here in the next few weeks. Right? So we've got the Anthony Joshua fight on the 12th. And then you've got Wilder Ruiz is still in negotiations. You've got Fury Ngannou in the heavyweight division. You've got Chang calling Fury absolute disgrace. And I wonder if that's because there's not anyone making the money, if you know what I mean. I think I understand the Ngannou fight, and I'm going to watch it. I do understand the Ngannou fight. Would I have preferred a different opponent? Of course I would. So would everybody who's into boxing. Everyone who loves their boxing.
It's not to be a proper fight. It's an exhibition. Not allowed to knock each other out. What is the point of the fighting? You as a fight fan, you go there to watch skilled men fight, and you're begging for a knockout. What's the point of an exhibition?
As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, my good pal Max here is not up for the art of actually boxing. It's like, punch him out.
Like I said before, I love the violence and the skill these men bring to the ring and all that. But an exhibition match, really? That's the sort of thing you see for an up-and-coming pro or something, not a seasoned pro.
Well, that's what you see. No, that's what you tend to see after retirement exhibitions.
Well, look at Mayweather. That's what he's doing now. This exhibition fight, just to keep his brain active.
It's not keeping his brain active. It's just to keep those dollars rolling in. What is it? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Maximus? How many times? It's all about the Benjamins. It's got nothing to do with bloody keeping his eye in. I mean, he reckons he's got hundreds of millions. He's worth billions, isn't he? Because of his investments and everything else. What's the point in doing it? Money.
Well, listen, he needs to keep doing it because you see the strap he had on his arm, $18 million worth, unwatched.
Listen, where we grew up, mate, you wouldn't want to walk around like that. They'd cut his arm off and take it off later, wouldn't they?
That's why his bodyguards walk around with machine guns. You see him in South Africa?
No, I didn't know. I've been there a few times. Last year I went there 3 times.
Mayweather come out of a shopping centre, mobbed by fans outside, and then you see an entourage of his security, all with machine guns. Then you see Mayweather in the middle of it all. You know,
that's probably still just trying to protect himself from Gatti, isn't he?
But he's going to need a lot more than that, trust me.
Oh, they've all gone straight now.
father ain't alive or his granddad ain't alive.
Yeah, could have been a bit of a different story. Mind you, if I was that referee, I'd be hiding.
Yeah.
Not so much Mayweather. He didn't stop the fight, and the referee did, but he just taking the blame for it. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to the KSI fight. I'm going to go and jump on a little bit of a bandwagon. I won't watch it. I will not pay Misfits Boxing. I will not pay Jake Paul for joke fights. I won't do it. I will not do it. I will let the idiots do that on YouTube who like follow these guys and think that that is real boxing. But I'll watch it when I get a free version of it. So I'll upload a bit later. So I will not pay to watch fights like that. I will pay for Crawford versus Spence. I will pay for Joshua versus White. I will pay for Fury. No, I won't. I won't pay for the Fury and Ngannou fight either because it goes against my principles in a way. But I'll watch it after. I'm not going to pay. We are boxing journalists. I'm not going to pay for a fight that isn't, in my opinion, a fight I want to see in the art of boxing. Now, I'm going to clarify that. I love it in the fact that it is boxing versus UFC, okay? But I don't like it as a boxing match. I don't. So, if they posted it out free, I'd watch it. But I don't want to sort of support, if you like, by paying for an exhibition. That's for the fans, okay? That is purely for the fans. Who will win? I think it's a fantastic business deal from Tyson Fury. I think Francis Ngannou gets his biggest payday ever. It's a fantastic deal for them. I think Frank Warren hit the nail right on the head when he said there's no mandatory challenger for Tyson. So what does he do? The Saudi crew come in offering record money, big money. I think he'd done the right thing to take it. I think everything about the fight is right as an exhibition, but everything about the fight for terms of boxing match is wrong. So, as we're boxing journalists, I'm not going to pay for it. But if you want to send me a video or watch it next day on YouTube, I'll gladly watch it and we'll still give our opinions anyway. But I think at the end of the day, that's more of a personal thing for me. I won't do this. I didn't do the same with Tommy versus Jake. I'm going to do exactly the same with KSI versus Tommy. I'll watch it the very next day, because I just think that these are for the fans. Although we're fans first, and that's how we started, we're also journalists too, and we've got to sort of look at it from a different point of view. I want to see Fury versus Joshua. I want to see Fury versus Usyk. I want to see Usyk versus Ruiz. Usyk versus Wilder. I want to see Chang versus Ruiz. I want to see Chang versus Wilder. I want to see Chang versus Fury. I want to see them. That's what I want to see. Even Michael Hunter coming back in.
And you mentioned AJ.
Well, yeah.
AJ who?
Well, I think AJ, we all know. I mean, it's well documented. AJ, I'd love to see him fight and all the rest of it. And hopefully next week we'll meet up with him and have a little bit of a chat. But I mean, for me, AJ was like the man for me for many years. I loved him. I loved the man. Loved the fight, and all the rest of it. But I'm going to put a but in here. I would love to see him in 3 more fights. I'm not happy about the White fight. Now, I'll tell you something. I love Dillian White, and I think there's an upset on the cards. I have got a feeling there's a Dillian White upset on these cards. And I love the guy. And another guy I absolutely adore in the heavyweight division. Not a lot of people probably follow my Derek Chisora. Can't help it. I just absolutely love the War Man. Absolutely love the War Man. So looking forward to seeing him next week as well, because I think he's on the undercard, Del Boy undercard. So I am totally stoked about it. But let me tell you, the problem is I don't think you can be. I think Eddie Hearn's right. I don't think Tyson Fury can consider himself a legend until he faces Anthony Joshua. If not just a British legend, a world legend. Okay, I don't think he could do that. I think Fury needs 2 fights to secure his legacy, and I mean one of the best, if not the best ever heavyweight who's ever laced up a set of boots. That's a really strong comment, but I firmly believe that the best heavyweight who has ever laid a set of boots. And let me give you my reasons. He went from putting on up to 28 stone as being heavyweight champion of the world, lost it all, survived mental health, come back, won his titles back, done a decoration job on Dillian White and Deontay Wilder. I mean, he absolutely smashed the granny out of the two of them in the last fights, you know. And we've obviously posted videos about Fury don't want to fight, and after the third Deontay Wilder fight. But this is a man who I believe has 2 points away from being classed as the best ever heavyweight fighters. And I'll tell you why I think that. I think if you put Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, okay, Evander Holyfield and that in the same ring, I don't think any of them would stand up to him. You don't agree with me, do you?
No.
You're going to tell me Tyson would have smashed the granny out of him. Lennox Lewis would have done a decoration job. Evander Holyfield would have used his big dome and would have muscled his way in and done. Listen, none of them. Let me tell you why.
There's loads of decent heavyweights from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Yeah, if you put them all in the same time as Fury, then I reckon 9 out of 10 of them would batter Fury.
Not a hope in hell.
Yes.
No. Listen, I argued the toss about the Ngannou fight, right? I don't want to see it, but I'm going to tell you why he doesn't. Mike Tyson would not be able to get anywhere near Tyson Fury.
Yes, all day.
No, mate. No. Look, just listen.
Many much bigger men, and he chops them down, bars at that.
Yeah, but no. He wouldn't be able to get near him. Listen, Tyson Fury's like Dalsim, right? Remember Dalsim from Street Fighter? I mean, he can hit that guy from his corner before he even comes out. He just would. The thing is, he fights like a bulldog, Tyson, right?
Look how quick he is, though, for a man of his size.
Yeah, but that is what you've got to take into consideration. Tyson Fury fights like a middleweight. At heavyweight, he's not a normal man, right? And he looks podgy. He doesn't look like an Anthony Joshua. This guy, in my opinion, if he fights Usyk and wins, and fights Joshua and wins, I think he would, for me, be probably one of the best, if not the best heavyweight of all time. And I'm telling you why, because Lennox Lewis, I don't believe would be able to deal with Tyson Fury's power now. I really don't. I watched how Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Hasim Rahman. I've spoken with Rahman Jr. I've spoken with Hasim Jr. Listen, so what? So what? He gets him back. But I'm telling you, he would not be able to see Fury. I watched Fury when he went down on that first Wilder punch, and Fury did that shoulder. Wilder did the shoulder shuffle, right? And then Fury got back up, and at that point, Wilder realised it was a real bad day.
Right? At that moment, he knew.
At that moment, he knew. Yeah, but I sit there and I talk with a passion about it, and and if Frank Warren was in front of me, I'd tell him the same thing, right? And if Mike Tyson was in front of me, or bearing he might take my teeth out, I would tell him the same thing. Let me tell you why I think Tyson's better. Let me tell you why I think Fury is better than Ali. Okay, Fury is very similar to Ali in his clown-like ways. Ali was exactly the same. Ali, great entertainer. Fury, great entertainer. I mean, I've never seen someone dress up as Batman at a press conference, jump over a table and nab the Joker, right? That was funny. But Tyson plays with the mind. Fury plays with the mind like Ali did. Yeah? But even Ali lost 5 times. Fury hasn't lost. And Fury moves better than Ali. Huh?
Ali had a 21-year fighting career, over 60 fights.
Yeah, but he still lost 5 times.
Yeah.
And when I look at him, look how Ali fights in comparison to Fury. Do you believe that if he tried to do a rope-a-dope on Tyson Fury, that he would fall for something like that? Fury would take 1 step back, a few little left hooks to get him back into check, and then start again. Because Fury fights differently from George Foreman. George Foreman was like a bulldog, yeah, big man, big muscly, heavily guy, similar to Frank Bruno in stature and size and muscle mass, as I think Evander Holyfield is. They just wouldn't cope with a Tyson Fury reach and power and speed. You just don't see that in the heavyweight division.
So what you're trying to say, that I ain't got no open L when I spar with him?
None. And I don't mind sparring him, but listen, when I spar, I'm going to take a set ladder and a crowbar because it's just.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I've got iron blocks in each glove, right? And I hit hard.
That was in my gloves.
But I just think that, and we always keep moving off to these heavyweight discussions. But I absolutely love it. But we'll go back to the Fury, the mini Fury. So Tommy Fury versus KSI. I think Tommy Fury does a job on him. Sad to see he's left Frank Warren, but totally understand it. I think his dad's got a bit too much to play in his career, if I'm perfectly honest. If John was in front of me, I'd say, listen, I think that, with all due respect, the fight game. You produce 3 good fighters out of his crystal nutsack, as he says.
Yeah,
he has. And obviously with his younger brother now coming in, I just would want the boys to find it on their own. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously Peter Fury trained Tyson when he was younger, and we've got to, just let them do what they got to do. Be their dad, look after their interests and everything else, and that he is. But just let them find their own way. Try not to interfere too much. I mean, I totally. Be there when things go wrong. Always be in the background to help him. Love him as he's a good dad, and all the rest of it. But let them make their own sort of decisions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I think, because he's quite vocal, isn't he, Big John?
Oh yeah, very vocal. Tell you what, we talk about Big John Fury quickly.
Yeah, why not? We've talked about other Furies.
Right. I'm not sure whether he was high or drunk when he made this video. He wants to take Iron Mike Tyson on that in Saudi Arabia. There's no way. No way. Right? He might have been a bit of a chat back in his day, but he would never, ever beat Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is hard as F's. You know what I mean? And
hard as nails, yeah. Do you know what, though?
I like John Fury. I think the way he speaks, he's very outspoken, and he don't give a shit what he says.
No, he don't.
Mike Tyson, if you look at him, was he late 50s? Right? And he's mustard. You see him, he's training every day, and he's still fast, still wild, still packs a punch. He'd wipe the floor with John. Easily.
Yeah, I think he would as well.
So I've done about him. There was no disrespect there at all. I'm just stating the fact that Iron Mike would eye you out.
No. Don't hold back, Max. Just don't hold back. I don't like seeing the old timers fight. I really didn't like the Roy Jones Jr. one. The Evander Holyfield one. I don't like them because it takes one punch to destroy a legacy.
Yes.
So, Big John Fury goes into the ring with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's winning for 5 of the rounds. Big John Fury catches him with the right hand. Tyson goes down, skull fracture, eye socket damage. That does so much damage to a man's legacy.
Yeah.
And it only, in that weight division, one punch.
Yeah, it's like I said before, one punch could end it all. We've seen it many, many times in our ways, like you in the ring, me out on the streets. It's one punch can just devastate families.
It just changes the world. Anyway, guys, so that's enough for the one episode of No F's Given. We've been around for about 40 odd minutes now, mate, chatting. There's been a number of you that have watched us. Thank you very much for taking part and watching. Don't forget that we are doing a competition, guys. We're giving away $250, $50 every month that we're going to share across all our social media for each one. Don't forget, all you've got to do is subscribe to the channel and like the channel, etc. Reshare one of our content and tag one of your mates. And every month we're giving away 5 prizes of $50 and we'd love to give it to you. So don't forget, like and subscribe. You can't win it. Like and subscribe, share and tag, and that's all that's in it. Anyway, guys, thanks very much, pal, and we will catch you guys again later. And don't forget, it's the Jake Paul fight this weekend.
Yay!
Bosh!
Oh.